The vaccine programme is rolling out really well, and it does look like things are going very well. But in terms of our communities, Sadiq, Black and Asian communities, there is a nervousness, there is a hesitancy. I have spoken to a lot, particularly older, from my community, people who are just a bit nervous about it. What's your message to those communities? And do you understand why there is a bit of hesitancy?
I absolutely understand why there is nervousness and hesitancy amongst Black, Asian, minority ethnic Londoners and those across the country. But the reality is many members of our community are understandably suspicious of authority. Their experience has been one where in the past and very recently, institutions have let them down. They know about many drug companies testing in an immoral way, in a wrong way, some of their drugs on people of our ethnic origin. And so they're suspicious. And so one of the things that you've got to do is explain to them in a non-patronizing way what regulatory systems are in place to make sure the vaccine is safe. The fact that vaccines over the course of the last few decades have saved millions and millions of lives. But also the fact is, from Her Majesty the Queen to David Attenborough to my mum, they've all had the vaccine. Got it yesterday. And so the vaccine is safe. And so that should give people confidence that it's safe. And so we've got to make sure we spend time explaining to people why it's safe, because here's the heartbreaking thing. We could have a double whammy. On the one hand, it's Black, Asian, minority ethnic communities who are suffering the most disproportionately in relation to catching the virus and the consequences. And on the other hand, they're less likely to receive the vaccine. And one of the things that we've got to do, yourself and me and others, who, in a non-arrogant way, are opinion formers, are respected by members of our community, to explain why these vaccines are a game changer and a lifesaver. And whenever they're eligible to receive the vaccine, they should take it.
I sometimes think that some of the government messaging, it's very much going out through the mainstream media. A lot of, our elders in our community, they don't watch, the 6 o'clock news every night. They watch ZTV, they watch other channels. Do you think more needs to be done? Does the government need to think more kind of laterally and more creatively about how to get the messages out to different communities? Because not all Black and Asian people are this BAME lump of people.
I want to give Matt Hancock and Nadeem Zahawi lots of credit, because they've been working with me and working with City Hall to make sure government's messaging is now what's called culturally competent. You're spot on. We've got to make sure the message is one that is one that people can relate to, but also the mediums that we get the message across is one that is relevant to our diverse communities, whether it's using WhatsApp, using the satellite TV channels, using the sort of radio that's listened by many of our diverse communities, but also the sort of opinion formers who've got influence. The reality is, and it's not criticism, Boris Johnson is respected in various communities. And if he's the message carrier, that hasn't got the same resonance as, for example, David Attenborough or Lenny Henry or Adil Ray and so forth. And so, and to give Matt and Nadeem credit, they've had the humility, I think, to accept that. And this is a really good example where we're on the same side. Look, whether you're a Tory or whether you're a Labour, it doesn't matter. We're on the same side here fighting this virus. And so we've got to be using all the tools in our toolkit to get the message across, because my mum very rarely watches BBC News at 6 or News at 10, even when her boy's on it. She'll rely upon her GOTV, ARY, the stuff, the Bollywood channels, Sunrise radios. And so we've got to work with those outlets and not be a snob when it comes to using them.